Alright, good evening ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to game 3 of the sorry, my mind's gone blank. We've been waiting for so long. This is so exciting. It is game 3 of the ThinkFast League, run by ESL, sponsored by Razer and Senzai, and this is going to be absolutely amazing. We've got Northern Lions, who we were following quite closely for the first 2 rounds, going up against a team that they actually fought in the finals of the previous round of qualifiers, Chili Willy. They won that game, but both of these teams came out of that previous round of qualifiers with the most possible points, 100 for Northern Lions, 70 for Chili Willy, and they are both going to be fiercely defending an opportunity to get up and score those kind of big points again, because of course only one of them can go through from here. And we got a lot of fans for both teams in the chat as well, I know, so this is going to be an incredibly tense match. And of course I'm joined by Davey. How are you doing, man?
I am doing great as always.
Are you looking forward to this?
Shockingly, I am.
That's just going to be absolutely mad. Just absolutely mad. Anybody who is watching the stream who saw the previous finals, I'd be very interested in knowing whether the best of 3 matchup that these two played recently actually got to the 3rd game, because that'll give us some idea about how close we might be looking at the matchup here. So, okay. We've got Death Prophet, Terrorblade, Brewmaster, Faceless Void. Have we seen many different bans, in all honesty?
Pretty consistent.
Pretty
the meta's relatively stable right now.
And you'd probably say the same thing about the Skywrath Mage first pick, yes?
Yep.
Yep, absolutely powerful hero. So what would you do as Chili Willy here? You've got 2 picks to go.
You have options. Okay, Viper's fine.
So let's just take the opportunity here to compare this to the draft that Valhalla were running against Northern Lions in the previous game, because that of course was Viper Veno starting off. Viper Jakiro, to me, a lot more stable. You've got
absolutely
very similar. You got maybe even more pushing power. I'm not sure where that would wear off, but you've got the options for defensive tries. You know you could even call Jakiro, but the important thing is you've got the lockdowns, you've got the nukes, you've got more than just relying on slowing the enemy down. This can't just be countered with an easy morphling pick. And Northern Lions going for the Centaur. I mean, that seemed to surprise you there.
I mean, obviously Viper is, in certain laning situations, somewhat of a counter to Centaur. I'm sure Northern Lions know that, so they probably have a plan. And of course, Chili Willy may not want to go with that sort of safe lane Viper that a lot of people feel like is, you know, to some extent, legitimately a waste of Viper's lane dominating talent and its lack of scaling. But if they do want to run an aggressive tri lane or something along those lines, a jungler and a dual mid, or I'm not sure. There is that opportunity for that great matchup.
No, I mean I agree with you, and it's going to come down to the laning. But of course, we have also been seeing a little bit, just dribs and drabs of position 1 Centaur recently.
That's true.
So that might be an option here.
It looks like Northern Lions are going to. That I would say the Viper aggro tri would certainly be something to consider.
And then with a Wraith King on it. I mean, I think I've seen you run that exact tri-lane before.
I've run that tri-lane many times.
Many times. Absolutely amazing. At the same time, though, hugely flexible draft. You could have a mid and 2 supports here. You could have the safe lane and then the start of an off lane if Viper wants.
I have to agree. This is a very David style opening 3 from Chili Willy, and I think it's great.
It is. I'm wondering if we found your new favorite team 2014. I think we've got David, the Chili Willy fan here.
I could easily see me drafting. I've drafted these 3 heroes in that order, God knows how many times.
So the next round of bans: Invoker, Disruptor. Looks like Chili Willy want to be in control of the team fight, I think, based on that. And I mean, they don't really have a team fight team just yet. They've got a lot of single target right click. They got a bit of AoE nuke and damage with the Jakiro, but Jakiro is not just solely built for team fighting. He's not
He's a good team fighter.
He is. But you couldn't be amazing at team fighting and still be as good as he is at pushing and not be a totally broken hero. So he's not the best at team fighting. Northern Lions choosing Puck.
A lot of Puck lately.
A lot of Puck. It's also
very sad.
I'm getting over it. I'm getting over my hatred of Puck. But I also think it's a smart pickup looking at the Invoker and Disruptor bans, because first of all, you know, it's a decent mid, they can lane it, they can do well with it, it's definitely a tier 1 hero, but also it seems to be the kind of thing that Chili Willy is trying to avoid, that kind of int-based sneaky lockdown.
If I was Chili Willy, I would take a maybe here, but if not here, in the 5th pick. But I would take TA here. I would tell you, Willy.
I speak for the trees.
Nature's Prophet being picked up by them. Team Green with a little bit of Jakiro. I think that's going
Makes me think the aggro try is definitely still a possibility.
Sand King.
Ooh, Northern Lions picking up the Sand King. Now this is something that we've been back and forthing a lot with recently.
Right.
Is this the pros Earthshaker? That's my question.
I don't think the two are mutually exclusive. You see a lot of pro Earthshaker picks as well.
Sure, but there is an extent to which I don't know. Put it this way. I guess what I'm trying to say is a lot of the lower tiers in pubs, you see the Earthshaker picked up because he's got a decent AoE stun. He can do decent AoE nuke in a team fight, and that's kind of the reason that they pick him. And okay, you got the range on Fissure, but Sand King's mobility is much higher. His jungling is much better. His nuke is.
Yes.
I don't want to say better. It's different. Earthshaker's is situational.
I would say Sand King is great if you need reliable team fight damage and a self-sufficient support. Earthshaker is really there for massive lockdown and countering group and minion pushing.
So you're saying this is more of a team fight strategy then from Northern Lions?
Yeah, I would see this more than a combo with the Dream Coil, where Earthshaker can, but Sand King is a reliable Dream Coil combo.
That's very true actually. The Sand King Dream Coil worth mentioning there. You know, you can't move out unless you're stunned, and if you get stunned moving away from epicenter, well, you may as well not even try and move away from it.
Just sit there the whole time. Yep.
You're stunned. So no, that's going to be very good. I'm still not seeing the great counter to Viper though coming out from Northern Lions. Puck can do work, no doubt.
Puck does pretty well, and if they expect that Viper mid, which you very well maybe, but I would say Puck will do fine as it goes against Viper.
I'm actually wondering here from Chili Willy whether they're planning on doing a 5-man rotation at the start and not deciding their lanes. You know, maybe having a few options laid out in advance, but not actually.
I think Lions may be going for a Centaur safe lane. It would work if they wanted to. Centaur Skyrats is a decent dual lane combo, and since Sand King is often in the jungle, you need a relatively self-sufficient safe laner. Centaur fills that role. But of course, thinking that for Chili Willy, this would make me want to commit harder for the aggro try. I think Puck's the pick here, as I see it. He would fill what they need. I mean, not Puck, TA. Sorry.
TA for Chili Willy.
Yes, if it was me. But they may not be seeing this the same way I do.
I mean, TA, you know, Sandstorm good at getting rid of refraction charges, but yeah, there's a lot of squishy heroes there to nuke. Chili Willy going for the Zeus, and Northern Lions picking up the anti-mage. Great Wraith King counter there. But before we go any further, you know what I'm going to do? You should be able to know what I'm going to do, Davide.
I don't. Oh, switch off the overlay.
Yeah, Schragen. There we go. Let's get all our little things started up again.
That is not how I expected that draft to end.
No, that was absolutely huge. Do you want to talk about that very quickly?
A relatively greedy anti-mage against potential aggro try. We now have this global combo with the Nature's Prophet and the Zeus, which I didn't totally expect.
Against a very squishy lineup, including the anti-mage.
Yeah. I mean, Zeus is great to counter the Sand King Infiz, for example. It's decent against anti-mage because he's very slippery and you can get in with the global. I did not expect the Zeus. It's not bad. It works, but I expected them to go with someone else that's going to scale because Chili Willy does not have a lot of time, as I would see this draft. Because Wraith King's going to transition fairly well, but against an anti-mage, Zeus and Viper and Nature's Prophet are not going to be cores that are going to be scary in the long run.
No.
I think they just put themselves on a timer, which is fine if that's how they want to play.
Yeah, and they do have great push. Nature's Prophet, Viper, Jakiro.
It's decent into the 40-minute mark.
And I really like that early TP there from Nature's Prophet. It's kind of what I was saying before. They might want to do a bit of a rotation first and scout it out a little bit before they decide their lanes. This is kind of the easy way to do that. You just go down with Nature's Prophet, pop a TP. Pop an OBS.
This CYT guy loves to ping and write on the map.
I think they're writing on the... Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so introduce the teams. We've been following Northern Lions. Can you very quickly introduce me to Chili Willy, Davide?
Absolutely. Starting off in the off lane, on this bottom lane, we have Dante on the Nature's Prophet. Going up on the safe lane, we have Toka-san on the Zeus. Jakiro hanging out by this top haste rune is Ailamo. Wraith King, likely supporting, I guess, on the safe lane is Ralphie, and then mid Viper, as it will be the mid Viper, is Heart M.
Mm.
So not that lanes to be expected.
No.
Expected.
And then it looks like we've got a little bit of time here before something horrific happens, so we'll keep an eye on those side lanes, both tri-lanes.
Jakiro coming with the Hatred bottom. Oh,
Top.
fine. Sorry.
That's
Top,
top.
yes.
That's top. Just gets a quick bit of DOT off. Alright, and then quickly on the Northern Lions team, I'm just going to go through this in the order we're actually looking at the lanes. I can't go through them left to right now, but we've got Phantom again taking the mid. This time Puck up against Viper, and I'm going to be keeping a close eye on that lane. Up on the off lane, we've got CA taking the Centaur War Runner. And then down on the safe lane we have got well, not the safe lane Centaur, but Ingman taking an anti-mage, as David discussed. We've got Skywrath offering out the harass that's being played by CYT, and we have Evasion taking the sanking for the for those jungle XPs, and he'll be looking, and I know this because I've been practicing, to get pulls off up until he can get his level 3. It messed up that pull though, unfortunately. Very hard to time with the ghost slow. Can we just take this opportunity, David, to open in-game mic and mute co-broadcasters?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Just had one complaint. Most people watching on my Twitch, I think.
Done. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can.
In all honesty, is this how you think that Chili Willy should be laning? As I see it, they're setting themselves up to lose every lane.
No.
Unless they outplay. That's
I
how
agree
I
with
see
you.
it.
I think Viper Puck could be interesting. Like I don't enjoy playing Viper against Puck.
Just fine.
But yeah, they'll be fine. But it'll be interesting, and when a kill goes down there, you'll be going, "Oh, I wonder who's going to get that kill." But yeah, no, I agree with you. Especially against that anti-mage pickup, they needed an aggro try here. I mean, just look at this. I don't know why I opened up now.
He gets zoned out hard by Skywrath. That's just a fact, mechanical matter. He's still level 2.
I mean, they do gain some utility in having the treants available to block up the Sand King's farm, which they did just do there. He's gonna have a slow blink from that. But
they could have done that by just putting lane pressure in.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have hated, as I said, Nature's Prophet mid. If they'd gone Nature's Prophet mid, Viper solo safe, and then run the exact same tri-lane aggro, I mean, it wouldn't have been as good as a Viper aggro try, but I honestly think they'd be in the position now of saying that they were the ones who'd be winning every game.
Well, why not? I mean,
Viper taking a lot of harass mid, and we do have an Invis sanking here as well, ready with the stun. The Invis wears off, so he does just drop it, and loses his clarity there to a little bit of corrosive skin. When it comes,
he forgot about the corrosive skin and thought he could save his clarity.
I think the Invis just wore off, and it was like, well, you know, I'm standing next to him, I'm going to get hit. Let's stun the guy and see if something happens. Nature's Prophet 0-0. You're absolutely right about the Skywrath Mage. He's just managed to get level 2, no mana, and we've got the harass coming out from Skywrath Mage and the anti-mage. Are they going to go for a blink finish? No. Let Skywrath Mage do it with that massive ranged nukes. And
takes care of Nature's Prophet.
Yeah.
He's a great lane counter.
That was absolutely huge. We're going to need an immediate pause. Comes out from the Viper.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this Chili Willy laning. I don't get it. I mean, who knows? I'm sure that they're obviously very talented players. I'm sure they'll do fine. I don't understand. I don't know.
No, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, let us not forget Northern Line did win the previous matchup. You know, they do have an edge here, and it's perfectly possible for people to make mistakes. And I got to say, I agree with you. I think this is a bit of a mistake in the laning choices here for CHW. This is why I was saying they wanted to scout it out early and maybe make a final decision later. And they did great scouting there with that obs from Nature's Prophet. That told them that it was going to be a defensive try right off the bat, and that means it's going to be anti-mage. And you're right as well. It's a kind of team that anti-mage will do very, very dangerously against. Wraith King as a transitional core, Nature's Prophet, Zeus obviously highly mana dependent and going to be taking a lot of damage. The mana burn on them is going to be huge. And then Viper, who can do alright. I wouldn't say anti-mage is a hard Viper counter. I don't know if you disagree.
No, I wouldn't say he is. No, I mean I think he's okay.
But Viper isn't a hard anti-mage counter. Yeah.
But he can definitely keep him from farming. which is, you know, basically your goal against anti-mage.
Mm.
And they don't have that much kill potential. I mean, Sand King's great with the AoE stun, but he needs levels. Skywrath doesn't have a lot of kill potential. He has harass. But you just put pressure on the lane. I think it would be a winning aggro try.
Mm.
I don't know.
I think, I don't know if it would be a question of, if they do that they'd win. I mean, Sandstorm could be huge in lane if it really got stressful, and they'd have the level advantage if Sand King could just get that early game in the jungle. But I certainly think it's what they should have done. You're right. This is kind of shaping up to lose every lane. Centaur also on very, very high health. Nature's Prophet has of course died once. Back to lane, full health again. Already mana is a bit of a situation here. We've got another Treant looping around to block up the upcoming stack for the Sand King. He's currently got what I think is a triple stack in there. Yeah, that's a triple stack.
It's a 3. Oh, it's a 4. Wait, hold on. No, it's 3.
It's 3. They separated quite nicely there, so we could see the 3 camps. Bounty Rune going top, that will be picked up by Puck. The Haste Rune is a major rune, but that's going to be grabbed by Nature's Prophet. But of course, you know, at level 2, he can't do anything. Yeah.
We've had trouble coming up with the right name for that in the community. The Wheel Rune.
I'm trying to remember, I think I picked that up off one of the Adulty guys. I might be wrong, it might be something totally different.
Major rune.
But the Major Rune and the Minor Rune, I like that.
I like that, I like it a lot.
That was quite funny. I think CA there was hoping for some last hits on the Die Creeps, but they were all taken out by the Hellfire Smasher. You do not want to...
That'll happen.
You do want to rage
He's a beast.
with the Hellfire Smasher. Zeus getting fairly free farm, but I mean, he's the safe lane carry and he's 4th on the position. Both mids and the anti-mage doing much, much better than he is. What are we on? 5 minutes in?
Supports can't reliably zone out the Centaur. I mean, any supports, you know, Wraith King isn't much of a zoner. That's fine. Jakiro can be, but he's really struggling against Centaur's return. I mean, he's not built to zone out a Centaur.
And this is actually one of the rare times when we might see like additional return, because I like the return build on Centaur. Not a lot of other people do, especially since he was recently changed with how the mana cost was scaling. Nature's Prophet has been spotted out here. Not entirely sure how.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a Sand King stun. There's going to be some Skywrath harass.
Puck's gonna come in.
Here comes the slow.
Dead.
What do you say? I'm not sure if Puck is going to come in. Puck's doing his own thing. There's a Sand King stun once the anti-mage gets close enough. I mean, Puck was actually getting a decent bit of harass down on the mid Viper there. There's Dream Coil, in fact, going straight down. If we get an illusory orb, this will be a kill. He just needs one more right click. He's taking a lot of harass from that tower there, and here comes Nature's Prophet. Nice essence shift.
Both the Nature's Prophet and the
does have Treants though, and that'll be
nice Treants.
That'll be some nice gold there for Dante. He needs something to bring him back into this game. And of course that brings up level 4. He's actually now equal with the Centaur. Or only slightly behind the Centaur. But Viper going down mid, that is not good. So you know that's some nice catch-up XP for Dante in the offlane, but the mid didn't get any benefit there, and Puck did get a kill. We do have a rotation round on CA here.
Oh,
we have DJERHAIN, but they don't know which way to go round. And they're not
going to run up. He's going to run into the Dire Courier. They're running the courier right next to him.
This is the problem. When you split up to try and block off all the entrances, you can't group up to actually secure your kills. But we do get a Sprout, we do get Zeus, and that'll be a lot of right click down. I think he was just going for a quick double edge there to try and do some damage to Zeus just before dying. These pings. Swipe.
They're pingers.
They are. I'm not sure what the problem is. Did he miss a last hit? I mean, he's doing all right, you know. We're 7 minutes in. He's almost on Perseverance. That'll be a Battle Fury up on him very, very shortly. I keep looking over to the Twitch, just thinking to myself, did I turn off the overlays? Did I turn off the overlays? Yeah, I did. I did turn off the overlays this time. But Park now actually getting to the stage where losing out quite dramatically on farm against this Viper. 41-15 up against 31-4 is definitely a mid that's favoring Chili Willy. Hey Lamo, waiting for the 8-minute rune. We don't have any vision down on the bot as well, So Dire might know a little bit more about the runes here, but there's definitely going to be a rune available. And it seems like Nature's Prophet has actually just gone jungle. Just decided, you know what?
As he should.
You know, wow. I mean, yeah, you're right, he should, but then they need something down there to stop that bloody anti-mage. Like, Jakiro would actually be pretty good at it, I think. And we've got Invis Jakiro, of course, yeah?
He'd die.
Wow, Invis Jakiro waiting on some action on the mid lane, but what they don't know is we've got a big rotation in from Northern Lions as well. We've got Sanking here waiting behind.
Yeah, they know something's missing with the support. It's not their top.
Mm. You see Phantom here just playing so far back behind the tower. I mean, he could be within the tower range and still be last hitting quite comfortably.
This is a win then for Radiant because, you know.
Oh, Dream Coil. There's going to be more harass coming down. Of course, the Dire supports are going to be turning straight down the lane and running straight down. We do get the Centaur slow. There's the stun coming out from Sanking. He does manage to get a little bit of Sandstorm harass off. The Zeus ult comes down. Puck finished off as well. And it's actually the Northern Lions support hero who are caught out with a very swift TP in from Nature's Prophet.
Nice path.
And 3 for 1.
What a nice path.
Hit 3, right?
Yes.
That was a wonderful play. And of course, this is the advantage of Nature's Prophet. You can always rotate in.
Good tree, Nature's.
Let us not forget, though, of course, I mean, this does not count Northern Lions out with an anti-mage free farming bot while this is all going on.
No. It's just one fight, but it was a great ice path. There's just no way around that.
Oh, no, absolutely brilliant. I think, as you were saying, they were being very cautious mid, and then they actually decided to be aggressive at almost exactly the right time, just after the supports had left lane. And they didn't have vision of that, so I think it was just a call that was slightly off. If they'd waited for another 10 seconds... that would have been an easy kill.
Probably didn't know that Jakiro was there. I mean, he was invis the whole time.
No, yeah. So this was all being done off game sense, and it was only slightly wrong.
And so, and they would have definitely won that fight handily were it not for that amazing ice path. So, invis Jakiro.
And we do now have an obs up in kind of the key point for Radiant to spot out similar things happening in future. Not smoke ganks, of course. So that'll be interesting. And Puck gonna get a regen rune on the bot lane. I got to imagine that's one of the favourites for Puck. Can't be sure.
Blink Dagger.
Blink Dagger, Null Talisman, still got a salve on the way as well, so he can actually afford to be quite aggressive here. You know, any regen you haven't used by the point at which it becomes meaningless is wasted money. So you often see players getting a little bit more aggressive if they know they've got a load of free bottle charges or similar. But Puck now rotating down to bot, just going to pick up some farm here while Anti-Mage heads mid. I'm not entirely sure what the basis of that rotation was. Would you be able to explain it to me?
I mean, Viper's down there now. He doesn't want to lane against Viper. That's why. If I was Anti-Mage...
That's true, actually, yes. Okay, and we got the Wraith King mid. So,
he'll be happy with that.
Yeah. And that was a very clever rotation then from Northern Lions. For some reason I thought we had Jakiro mid. But a big wraparound now on the Skywrath Mage up on top lane. There's another pickoff for Chili Willy. Only caught the tail end of that one, but a fairly decisive kill it looked like. I mean, one thing I suppose to point out is the 1v1 kills so far, even though it's 47. the 1v1 kills are going the way of Northern Lions. Like Chili Willy are getting nice rotations in for their kills. Also getting some feedback from Gothic. Apparently it was a 2-man ice path. Would you contest that?
I thought it was 3. Yeah, I'll contest. You're on, Gothic.
You're on. We're gonna have to. We'll be back with the replay battle later, guys. Now we got a lot of the. Yep.
No, not important. Go ahead.
A lot of the Radiant heroes farming out the jungle here. Now, not a huge fan to be perfectly honest. Sanking still doesn't have blink.
Yeah,
Center War Runner.
Let Sanking have his jungle.
Yeah,
I really do.
I'm just not sure why there are so many of them here. Even bot lane was totally free for a little while there. And Viper's not that scary just yet. Will we getting mech up? What would you say? Oh, we just got a courier delivery. That'll speed it up a little bit. I'd say a 15-16 minute mech.
I should say before that. I mean, well, it depends. So he needs 1,000 gold.
If they get a kill, he can get it pretty much immediately. Oh, and Ingman gets a lot of stun lock coming down on him. And there's Zeus ult to nuke him off. That was a great finish.
Oh, don't pop this.
Dream Coil down as well, yeah. Invis rune comes out from Phantom. Are they going to be able to get defense on this tower though? I'm not sure they are. And you know, honestly, the whole point of Northern Lions.
Oh!
Beautiful deny.
The plays.
Amazing plays. I'm not sure about this. I think what he actually did there, I may have missed something here, is I think he actually popped a smoke to make them think that he was just retreating, and then popped an invis rune. Yeah, and then popped an invis rune to be around and invisible when they expected him to be invisible and running away, if that makes any
Jakiro
sense.
even threw out the ice path. No, worried that someone might be there to try to deny it. It's a defensive ice path, and it still wasn't enough.
Great ward coming out there from Jakiro, exactly where they need it to put some pressure up.
Defend top tower.
And I gotta say, I think Northern Lions need to decide, are they going to play as a team and defend, or are they going to try and get this anti-mage solo farm? They've got another deny up top here, I think. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. What was it? It was a JDL where just every game a tower was in deny range. The teams wouldn't be able to catch it. We do have initiation on Puck. The mini stun from Mana Void is enough to break the TP. And Viper against Centaur. This is a lane that this is the lane that Viper was always praying for. This just can't go well for Centaur. Return damage is great, but especially with Viper already having the headdress up, some decent stats, even some decent armor, it's not going to be great. Meanwhile, a big rotation in here from the Radiant as they seek to try and catch out this Nature's Prophet in the jungle. Not going to be able to catch him before he gets back into the defensive range of his tower. And so we've got the Radiant team back in, out, back down to mid, and they might be trying to turn this into the first tower of their own. I mean, the denies are great, but just map control wise, they do need to make sure they get things down. And I think this initiation and this aggression from them is being prompted by the fact that we do now have Blink Epicenter Sanking up, as well as a Blink.
Dream Coil.
Oh, but we do also have Blink on the Wraith King. He's chasing down, and he manages to get the stun off on the Skywrath Mage plus one quick Zeus ult, and that's a kill.
And they take bottom. So many blinks this game, with anti-mage having the one built in. It's just fun to watch fights. Everyone just zips across the map.
Fun and also difficult. I'm zoomed right out here. I mean, how do you feel about this game so far? It seems like Chili Willy, despite all of our predictions, are actually doing what they need to do.
Yeah, they're doing great. Anti-mage's Battle Fury is basically done. The game has now really begun.
And this choice here. This is a great opportunity for Roche for them.
Or a Dire ping on Roche. They know.
That's well, no, that was Dire. Pink is Dire.
There was a Centaur ping at least.
Okay. Well, Centaur does look a lot like whatever. I'm sure you're right.
Could be wrong. Yeah, Puck's headed over there.
I mean, I'm sure they know now. There's just been too much absence from lane.
Oh, Orb's gonna come in.
Oh dear. But we get the blink over from the Wraith King. There's a silence, but he's looking for the stun. This might be a little bit aggressive from him.
Just zoning. They're gonna take Roche.
They are. Had there been more Radiant heroes there, though, that would have been at least reincarnation popped on Wraith King.
I agree.
Centaur just gonna go for a quick TP out. Wraith King, I don't think could have made a difference there with any kind of blink. Skywrath Mage killing Nature's Prophet, though. That's going to be a very useful kill for the mid lane, and they can try and get this mid tower down. The danger, of course.
Dream Coil definitely worth a Nature's Prophet life. Bottoms.
Oh no! Dire Creep Wave pulled into double stacked small. Oh no, not stacked small camp, but Dire Wave pulled. Was that intentional? Are they trying to go for a bit of a bulge?
Where?
The Dire Creep Wave just got pulled into the. Oh, big TP's coming up. They're going top. They're going mid. They don't want to lose tier 1s. They've got Jakiro left down here. Oh, they left Jakiro down here and a beautiful blink from Sanking. That'll be a quick support kill. There's not really much to be done. And Puck picks it up as well, so that'll be... Well, we've got Treads finished. What's the next item for him, do you think?
Oh, Nature's Prophet so low.
And Nature's Prophet down again, so that's 2 kills on the Nature's Prophet in very, very short succession. Viper, though, going to be able to finish off the Centaur. But, I mean, this is a comeback. I'm getting more messages from Gothic. Apparently we're missing everything.
According to Gothic, I'm not surprised.
Zeus, yeah, he's just saying Zeus deserves a bit more credit. Zeus is doing a great job. I don't think he deserves all the credit in the game.
Don't talk in Twitch chat, Gothic.
Yeah, go talk in Twitch chat.
Send your ideas to the public. Let your voice be heard.
Oh.
Steam messaging.
Oh god, don't say that to Gothic. Much love, I'm joking. Alright, so DD rune spawns top, bounty rune spawns bottom.
Not joking.
And we've got actually probably better spread on the dire heroes in terms of where people are farming, how fast they're farming. And Radiant still to get a tower down. They are just beginning to get the combos they need, but the opportunities for those combos are going to get rarer and rarer as this game progresses and nature's profits.
Could pick up either the Yasha or the ultimate orb if he wants to. Oh, it's a Vlad's. Could have bought a couple pieces in the side shop.
He needs. I think that's a good choice. I was wondering whether he might be saving up just to rush butterfly or something, which would not really be wouldn't be a very efficient call. Oh, the silence comes down on anti-mage. Not going to be enough though.
But Orchid is shown now.
Yep. So we got lane push going on bottom. We got lane push going on mid. We got a very interesting XP graph. Viper caught out by Sanking, does pop Viper strike down, but we do have Epicenter as well as Anti-Mage here for just a little bit more harass. But there's the Wraith King. Another Ice Path on this Anti-Mage. He's finished off by DOT despite getting a blink away. And this is some great space here now for Chili Willy.
Point boost, you're doing a lot of work.
They get the silence down on the puck. They get a stun on the Skywrath for another very, very quick pick off there. And it looks like they just want to group up for the mid.
This is tier 2.
Sometimes I wish we could just quickly switch over to teams, hear what they're saying, and then go back. Just like a button, like hear teams. I was like shouting. And there's actually a really good, decent push going on bottom lane as well, and it's just sad that that's happening without any effort really from Dire.
Antar's a little isolated here in the river. Trouble.
Has he got a TP? He does
that
not. He does have blink. He's not trying to go, is he?
Thought about it.
Oh no, please don't.
He's gonna try.
He might well try, you're right.
Nah, he's okay, he saw the right thing. Now he's gonna get cut off that way.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't know where he is.
It's this nighttime vision, mate. It's just not long enough to really be scouting.
Walk all the way around. No TP.
And we're going to see a tier 2 go down, possibly a tier 1. Anti-Mage just eagerly farming up the creep waves. There's the Orchid, there's the Sprout. This is a dead Anti-Mage. Oh, and actually ran into the Ice Path there as well.
Yeah.
They do manage to catch out Ralphie on the mid though. So that's Wraith King down, Reincarnation of course, and there's a Skywrath ult to finish him off, but they're going to have to leave really quickly. They are being rapidly surrounded by Dire heroes. Viper catches out Sanking under a sentry ward, so that's one kill. Skywrath Mage finished off by a Zeus Jakiro combo. And it's just
again isolated on the wrong side of this fight.
Yeah. Puck manages to get out, he'll be able to defend top fairly efficiently, but Centaur left kind of running through the trees here. And I gotta say, Northern Lions seem to have really been losing control of this game.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, they're the kind of team that can always come back so long as they don't lose their high ground, but it's 21 minutes and their high ground is now being directly threatened.
And that really helped them out a lot, but they're getting outplayed in this mid game. Like they did what they needed to do in the laning phase. They got the lanes they wanted, but oh, and that's a dead courier. Oh, that's so big.
What was on it? 1875.
Wow.
I'm afraid we can't check that, but 18. Wow, that is big. No, perseverance. Dante now pushing out top, and he's kind of got the space he needs. Obviously, Dire are going to be a little bit hesitant, I think, to push on the high ground just right now.
Walking to Viper here.
Wait, what happened to the fog?
Nature's Prophet coming in with Orchid. Oh, he cancels.
Oh, I've got that same glitch other people have been saying, where suddenly you can only see the fog on the Radiant team.
I haven't gotten that, no. Anti-Mage still being chased by this Viper.
Oh, this is annoying. Yeah, sorry about that, stream. I have heard of this before. I haven't heard of any way to fix it. Please, if you let me know of one, please tell me. But yeah, we may actually just have to deal with Radiant Fog here. I do kind of think, though, that Radiant Fog is kind of what we want to be seeing. The really big questions we've got here are what can they spot out of the rotations from Chili Willy? Because any attempt that they have to make their own kind of initiations, like they've got here on top, they're exposing themselves to huge risk. And I'm not even saying they're wrong necessarily at this stage to go for a tier 1 for a tier 2. It's not a good trade, but any trade for them at the moment is good. Anti-Mage here, no knowledge of the Viper coming up, but game sense tells him to get out, and he's going to TP bot to farm up that actually pretty massive wave that we've been left with after the tier 2 went down.
Back into Roche.
Not up.
Ah.
Not up. But look at those wards coming down for the Dire side. Just absolutely huge. Bit of a push coming out from mid as well. I mean, do you think this is just the point where Radiant are just planning on grouping up? They managed to pick off Nature's Prophet, prompt out 4 immediate TPs. Sanking gets a nice blink. Oh no! Sanking's TP is caught out by LAMO. Does manage to pop Sandstorm, but essentially finishes him off. But still, that's a kind of 1-for-1 trade they can deal with. Zeusalt doesn't manage to finish off anyone.
Win. Definitely a win for Lions at this point.
I mean, this is what they need to be doing. Like, what Chili Willy need to be doing is getting all of the lanes pushed out at the same time, and then they can split push or push one or whatever. Anytime that Northern Lions get an opportunity to go for it and really just push as 5, they'd be best to just take it.
Yeah, but it's very hard for Chili Willy to control all the lanes against an ancient anti-mage with the Vlads. I mean, that is a nice thing about the Vlads. It allows you to really split push and skip waves with absolute impunity.
Absolutely. And is that a gem on the Skywrath? Yes, it is.
It is. Just trying to get as much vision control back as they can.
Let's have a quick look at the items, see if we get anything interesting popping up. Gothic has been mentioning Sanking's Null Talisman, which I admit is a slightly unusual call, but, you know, mana can be a bit of an issue.
It's odd. Why not an Urn?
Urn could work. I mean, the kills aren't... I don't know. Not going to be hugely reliable. Oh no! Initiation comes down on Anti-Mage. They're going to have the Orchid off in a sec. There it is. They don't have a huge amount of damage though. The Zeusalt comes in. Anti-Mage very quickly. I think that was a Quelling Blade through. He'd been very wise to keep that on him, and he will have Blink in a second, but he's going to try and get some damage, I think, down on this Wraith King. It's risky though because of the Wraith King crit. But he does manage to get the Blink off. And Wraith King and Nature's Prophet there. Just
Blinking after.
Blinking after, almost had it. But I think it was actually, I think we got to say skill there goes to the Anti-Mage. The kind of default...
That's why the Sand King no Talisman.
Yes?
Check his stash.
Dagon?
No.
Oh. Oh, Veil. Yeah. And that will be huge. Like we've been saying, they need to team fight to win this game. They're going to probably have a Rosh go down here. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything about it. I don't think they're even looking to.
They couldn't contest it if they tried.
Yeah.
Even with the Sand King ulti.
But with ulti, Veil, that's getting to the kind of thing, you know, you don't need to win every lane to win Dota. You only need to win one. Oh, I love my GLaDOS announcer. It's absolutely amazing. We do now have quite a big initiation coming out here from the Dire. They want to roam through the jungle with this Aegis. Do get spotted out though, and it looks like Northern Lions are just going full retreat. Phantom does get spotted out by the Viper, who heads over to the mid lane, but he's going to head top. Oh no, that was a Nature's Prophet, not actually heading top. And Park really just trying to, I think, contribute to pushing these lanes out. Anti-Mage, I think. I mean, what is the logic here? Is this just kind of distraction gaming? Just like when the Anti-Mage has an opportunity to just kind of show in a safe way, go for it.
Absolutely,
but then we see, you know, how safe is it? Anti-Mage just last hitting while he evades that Wraith King, and a lot spent here for the Skywrath. It should be a kill. It will be a kill. And they get the gem. That's probably the biggest part of that kill.
That's the problem.
I mean, they already have rune dominant, ward dominance, and I'm not sure that it's the most essential thing for them right now. I don't think Dire will be hugely benefiting from it, but Radiant certainly needed that to counter the vision that Dire have up. I'm really annoyed about this camera thing. I'm gonna look up a fix as soon as I can.
You want to try to restart real quick?
No, not the game. It's not a problem. I can still see the Dire heroes. It's just fog of war. We do have Essence Shift coming out from Puck. Oh, Toka-san just misses with the ult, but hit with Macropire. That was huge. And now we've got Dire grouping up for a push mid without Puck. Buyback status is very definitely has buyback, and has ult as well.
He needs to buy back. They can't lose their axe.
Meanwhile, Anti-Mage actually pushing out bottom. I mean, they might be willing to kind of glyph this, hold the buybacks, get as much as they can in, but I mean that's 2 waves of treants now. They're not going to have a tier 3 for much longer. There's a buyback from Puck. Immediate TP's out to a fairly adjacent tower. Centaur way out from the rest of his team again. Manages to get a nice stomp down on Blink, but there's absolutely no follow-up. The tier 3 goes down. We do also have Ingman back on the anti-mage. And they're actually going for the melee racks. I'm not sure I agree with that. CWT does get hit, brought quite low, but Piper's popped for Radiant. We've got the epicenter coming off now. Unfortunately, the main target of it is Viper, who has passive magic resistance. Does finally manage to get finished off there with a big mana void that actually almost wipes the team. Toka-san almost finished off by a double edge there from the Centaur War Runner. Manages to blink away. Has got Puck in chasing though. Engelman kind of struggling, facing up against his Wraith King now. He's almost low and he has already died once. No, he hasn't. My bad. I thought he had. And that's a 4-for-1 wipe at the moment. Northern Lions really looking like they're going to be struggling here. Puck, of course, his buyback was used. Let's have a quick look. Anti-Mage is up. Viper. Wow. No other buybacks available for the Radiant team.
That's basically it.
Yep. Viper Strike.
Viper Strike me.
Well, I don't know about it being it. I still think that the team fight combo, the group up in 5, and just maybe could still work for Northern Lions. That being said, it's going to be much harder now, especially with a wave where Anti-Mage can't get as much farm because they're mega creeps. It's passively going to push against. I mean, you know, they've got ways to handle it. For example, they could have Sanking laning mid, or just kind of trying to stay in the mid area to just keep that pushed out, but that's going to cut down their ability to team up and fight or go for ganks. It's going to be a tricky one.
Just Nature's Prophet Orchid has done so much work.
It really was a great pickup. I mean, I think on par with the Vlads on the anti-mage. We've now got Viper just passively farming up the jungle, Wraith King going for top. It's the only lane they really need to push out, and they don't really need it much further before they go for another set of racks. I don't know. What do you think? Do they wait? Are they waiting for anything?
I think they can wait for Aegis. There's no reason not to, honestly.
There's an anti-mage.
Yeah.
You think this game's over, don't you?
I don't think it's over. I think that they have to really throw a team fight. And, okay, so anti-mage, see what he's going for. Anti-mage, 3,000 gold. He could buy a basher. That could end up making a difference in the team fight, but...
Oh, big initiation now goes down on Nature's Prophet. We do have TPs coming in support, but finished off by Mana Void. The question is, are they going to be able to get anything in exchange? The nice stun on the Wraith King stun there from... nice dodge, sorry, on the Wraith King stun there from Anti-Mage. But they do manage to finish off the... puck.
I think it was actually... He stunned the puck, not the Anti-Mage.
Oh, really? Well, then he timed it right to avoid the...
Yeah, it was a great dodge. I think it was a good move by Wraith King not to...
Not to go for the stun on the Anti-Mage. Yeah, a bit of action there.
The Ice Path. That looked like he was stunned. Ice Path sometimes has some weird graphics where it looks like they should be stunned, but they're not. Sometimes I get that. I don't know.
And I mean, just look at this.
Cast point issues.
I appreciate they've got the Nature's Prophet down already, and that is the Orchid, and the Orchid is a lot of their counter for the anti-mage. But we are seeing Silly Willy play very, very cautiously here.
Yeah, yeah.
And with only the anti-mage in lane, they're recognizing that he is scary, and he's going for heart.
That's a decent choice.
That is a
He
decent
needs
choice.
that Basher pretty badly.
I'm not sure I'm seeing that, in all honesty. Like what he needs to do is tank up so he can survive through these fights. He doesn't... Damage would help, but he's got the mana burn for the damage, and he might need to rely on that. And then what he's going to try and do is just... He doesn't need to right-click them a lot. He just needs to right-click one person as they're sieging high ground. Get them low on mana, and mana void.
I think he's just getting kited. That's my concern.
They managed it in the last fight. And the last fight wasn't really what Northern Lions wanted here. Obviously this is very black, and I'm very sorry for this, guys. We do have some just generally passive jungle farming going on here from Chili Willy. We've got Heart M trying to contest the farm of the puck over on the mid lane, push the lane out a little bit as well. Gotta love the courier. Fully leveled Lieutenant Squawkins. Do you know your Lieutenant Squawkins, Davide? Oh, bot tier 2 goes down. The Dire Courier.
Gonna go on the Snake's Prophet.
Haste,
Oh, blink away.
Haste Rune comes out for the Zeus. He's actually just gonna use it to run down for the. Oh, I thought he was using it to run down for the Bounty Rune. No, he's gonna try and go on top. Big initiation here. We finally got the Nature's Prophet TPing in as well. Blink out from Centaur, beautifully played. They are going to be able to catch out evasion, but that's a big rotation for one support kill. And meanwhile, on the mid lane, Jakiro kind of being brought down as well. He just needs a few more right clicks from Anti-Mage, and this Skywrath is going to finish him off. There it is. We almost had the Mana Void there, and that's the gem. Back in the possession of the Radiant.
But top lane?
Top lane's being very heavily pushed. They're going to need a lot of rotations back, but of course this is a fight where maybe, just maybe, they actually have the numbers to win in their favor. Engelman being brought incredibly low. He's going to need to run all the way back to base. Not going to be able to make it. He's finished off by a nice blink initiation from... Oh, Nature's Prophet finished off there by a beautiful blink stomp double edge from Centaur Warrunner. And now we've got Viper pops BKB. I'm not sure that was wise unless you're planning on immediately TPing. Buyback from the Anti-Mage. Not sure if we've got buybacks out from Nature's Prophet. Yes, we do. He uses it. BKB now wears off on the Viper. Baiting out the Centaur stun, but does manage to get caught. Meanwhile, we've got a huge initiation now going up on this Wraith King. Ult, was the ult off cooldown? The ult was not off cooldown. Either way, had 0 mana at the end of that. And buybacks all offline. This is a point. One more team fight for Northern Lions. Just one more team fight.
That was big. That was very important. But Anti-Mage had to buy back. He would have his heart now, except that he had to buy back.
So did Nature's Prophet.
I mean, it's a good buyback. He had no choice. Nature's Prophet, I'm not so sure about that buyback. That was not a must-win fight for Dire.
No, I agree. They didn't need to do it, but he did buy back to counterbalance the Anti-Mage slightly. I agree. Anti-Mage is the important one, especially given that he's not actually getting gold right now. All this creep farming he's doing is just for the sake of lane pulling. Lane pushing, sorry.
Buying back on Anti-Mage really hurts. The whole point is you're
DD Anti-Mage heading into Roche Pit.
But the Turian's gonna see him. Anti-Mage.
That was very seen. Treant does just get immediately murdered by the cleave damage, and I think Ingman might have miscalculated here. He's hoping to be able to bring it down, but it's not going to happen even with that DD rune. We got Nature's Prophet now TPing in. They do seem to want to initiate on this, so they're going to pick off the Jakiro. No, they're not. Beautiful Yules from him. We've got evasion, looking for a good stun. Uses it to finish off the Jakiro. And they've got the mana burn they need for the Wraith King. No reincarnation for him. But Anti-Mage finished off by Viper, and the entire Radiant team looking incredibly low. Evasion going to be finished off. So Wraith King Jakiro for a buyback Anti-Mage and Sand King. That's A, not a good trade, and B, that's Roche for Dire. And the Skywrath picked off.
Did so much work. Just killed Anti-Mage. And he even mana voided him. We had almost no health left. I mean, he had to know what was going to happen with that Blade Mail on.
I guess that was a target. I agree with you, it wasn't a very good target. But that's the plays that were being made. Meanwhile, down on bot lane, we do have Puck versus Zeus. Puck manages to get away just. Zeus, I'm sure, desperate to get some kills on that most annoying hero in the game. But looking at this, I mean, Radiant have a large portion of their buybacks. Dire have only one on the Viper. Now, I agree. You know, it's always just going to be a question of who wins the next team fight, and it's getting increasingly harder for Northern Lions to do that. But if they were to win this team fight now, if with Chili Willy's pushing before they farm up their buybacks on the supports, that could be the opening Northern Lions need.
Potentially. I mean, all the core, you know, the Viper has...
Oh wow, that's a huge Skywrath ult. That's going to make Chili Willy's much more aggressive, easily dodged with the Yules. Admittedly, Zeus being brought fairly low, but Zeus, obviously someone who can nuke from across the map. So now, lots of right clicks coming down on this tower. The ice path misses. They need some kind of initiation plan here. Ingman is going to go and try and take out this, the Wraith King, or at least try and bait out the Blade Mail so that he can go in again later. Beautiful initiation from Evasion, almost finishes off the Nature's Prophet, but it's not quite enough. They don't have the global Zeus ult. I bet they wish they did right now. Sand King immediate buyback. He'll be coming straight in, but the crits on this Wraith King easily able to finish off Skywrath Mage. He's brought incredibly low. Doesn't have a huge amount of mana, but mana boots were just popped. Use the anti-mage. That's going to be a save. And a stun. And another stun. And that's GG. Not called yet, but that is GG.
They want to fight this to the death.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either. I don't blame them.
And actually, Chili Willy's seeming to back away a little bit there, but no, they realised that they didn't actually have the barracks down yet. Oh, I see, they were chasing Puck. Still though, get the racks. 50 seconds on this anti-mage. Yep. Of course, no buyback yet for another minute. And that's the last tier 3 down. We've got 2 sets of racks now. And I think this might be a... that's a GG. So yeah, Davidy, you know what I'm going to say? Final thoughts.
I think that Chili Willy could have won a lot earlier if they had laned differently, but they just outplayed them in mid-game team fights. They did. They outplayed them. Well, outplayed them. No way around it.
I mean, I really like what Northern Lions... Oh, sorry, yeah?
I also, I think the anti-mage pick was understandable, and I think that was decent. I think there wasn't anything wrong with the way Lions drafted or laned, or even their game plan. I think they just got outplayed in fights. And
I mean, it's interesting as well. I like what they were doing late game. I like the way they were pushing. Yeah. Sometimes I even like the way they were initiating on their fights, but...
Good decision making, all things considered, I guess, from Lions. Yeah. I normally after the game, I'm like, well, you know, you really need to do this. They had the right plan.
Yeah, they did.
They just whiffed some things. There were 2 or 3 really crucial Sand King ults that just didn't hit anyone.
They took a very ambitious team, I think. They had quite a squishy lineup that they needed to run 4 protect 1 for the anti-mage, and it was just not enough.
The one criticism I would have for Lions, a direct criticism, is I think we talked in the draft. I can't remember if I think I said in the draft about the Puck ult and Sand King ult combo, and I don't think I saw them use that once. Puck ult was used, Sand King was used, but they were never used in unison, and that's what I thought was kind of the whole idea of the 4 protect 1 draft, was to base it around that combo, and I don't know if it just didn't work, or maybe Chili Willy did such a good job dodging it, but they just never used that. And in my opinion, that was the one thing that they could have done that really would have made a difference. Absolutely.
Well, GG, well played to both teams. Northern Lions, it's a shame to see them leave, but they do have 100 points from the first round qualifiers. They are still very much in this. And I think we're probably going to try and follow Chili Willy into the next match. Is that right?
Sounds great.
Yeah, for that.
Is this semi-finals that we're going into?
This will be the semi-finals. I think it'll probably be the last match of the day. Anybody watching on stream, please do hang out for the next one. Also follow, subscribe, like. Check out Davidy at twitch.tv/DavidyStevenson. And yeah, let us know what you thought of that match in the chat. Ciao.
Sounds great.